Hello everyone, new location, here we go. So thank you for coming to my third video to promote my new high contrast black and white car seat and nursing cover from my company Contrast Baby. I'm Kristen Evans and I am breaking down the different studies on baby development. As I have started out the last couple episodes and I intend to start out the other ones, first I have my black and white outfit and then I share my thrifted item and then I talk about the study. So essentially first, this is actually counts for both of them, but I have a lot of goodies in store because I did thrift this, my black and white crop top, as you can see, and it was so special because it was actually in a size that was not mine, but it just attracted my eye because everything I see now is black and white. And I looked at the sides closer, perfect size. I grabbed it. I think it was like $3 or $4. So anyways, now I've got this, and I also wore this one specifically this week because this is what I wore in my personal Instagram video to announce to my friends and family that I was launching Contrast Baby. So I have officially launched pre-sale orders. I have 15 orders in, and I'm so excited about it. 2 of those are my mom and dad. But anyways, here we go. So, oh, no, a thrifted item. Okay, so, whoops, I ruined the surprise. There's 2. There's this one first, which is this little zebra decor box, which is so cute. Hobby Lobby, but of course thrifted. Anyway, so this will be at the launch party. I think it's going to be in September. And then this did not come in it, but I just put it in it. Cowbell to match my cow outfit. Anyways, I figured that I have more thrifted items that are black and white for the party than I will have studies. So I needed to start adding in a couple extra where I can. Okay, so let's break into it. So this one I could not find the full text on. So I am going off of multiple different summaries from the academic sources, and then they would give me like a preview of some of the pages. So I saw the first 3 pages, I saw 2 or 3 pages later on, and then I did use ChatGPT. I will disclose to help me understand some of the things that we were breaking through. So this time I don't have highlighted notes, so I'm going to be looking at my screen to talk about it all. So this study was called Maturation of Pattern Vision in Infants During the First 6 Months. This was again by our main man so far, Robert Fantz and his team, and this one was 1963. I did decide to go chronological order from development because that's what made sense, even though that's not the order that I've read them in. So now I'm kind of like going back and having to like re-catch up on some of the things so that I can do these videos and prep for them. So essentially, the paper starts off with talking about the previous research that had been done. He says, this is apparently due to 2 assumptions. Why we have limitations is what he's referring to. First, that tests of pattern vision are not feasible during the early months. And second, that negative results would be obtained in any case due to the immaturity in eye development or eye and brain of the baby, end quote. So the previous scientists were basically doing the research 10 to 20 years before him. That was what their commentary was, that there couldn't be more done. He's saying, okay, well, now we're ready. We're going to do it. I've got a couple ideas. So what he did, well, okay, so this is what I wrote here. Fantz was a teeny bit shady in his writing, and he said it was a so-called acuity test. But honestly, I kind of am with him in what he says, because what they were calling earlier an acuity test was basically that they would put a sugar pellet in front of a baby's line of sight and see the baby's reaction. So like if you can, I don't know if a pellet is like, I would guess it's different than a grain, but I don't know. I didn't look into it because it doesn't really matter. But essentially, so that's kind of funny. I liked that he had a little kind of Anyways, then the next method that was used was originally used on animals, which we see a lot in scientific studies. And this was by Gorman, Kogan, and Gellis in 1957. And so what they did, I'm having a hard time understanding this one, but they had a fine wire moving across a lighted area, and then you would just look at the baby's eye reflexes in reaction to all of that. So again, Fantz is saying, okay, well, we're going to take it one more step forward. We're going to say that this preferential looking treatment of where the baby looks longer means something, not just kind of the way their eyes twitch or anything like that. So he took black and white stripes the same pattern with kind of a gray comparison. And he took the black and white stripes either closer to the baby or further and tested all the different lengths at different ages. So, with using Fantz's new method in 1963, infants under 5 days of age, they found that 93 out of 100 of those responded to the stripes. And the way I learned this, that the way that they measured the stripes in the visual acuity is in minutes, which also refers to like how far, it's not minutes like seconds, it's like kind of complicated, but within like the thickness, just think of like the thickness of the patterns. So he said that furthermore, the reflex response to a moving pattern covering most of the visual field is a very different type of visual performance from the voluntary attention to the pattern of localized stationary objects. So something moving versus staying, and where is the baby looking? At under 1 month old, babies could see stripes with very wide spacing and they had low visual acuity. So I'm like, okay, visual acuity, what is that? So it is the measure of how clearly and how sharply someone, a baby, a person can see the details of things. And so, we know now, obviously, that babies can see from pretty much as soon as they come, but that wasn't always like that. That's something we take for granted. So this is building upon that not only can they see, but that over those first months of life, that their visual acuity, their ability to see detail improves and increases over time. So then when I was learning about visual acuity, it broke down the classic eye doctor chart that starts with the E at the top, goes down in a pyramid. Used to be a poster. Obviously, if you guys have had your eyes checked anytime recently, it is much more high tech than that. But that is called the Snellen chart. So I'm guessing that's the scientist, the ophthalmologist. Here, now I want to look it up. That's what the cool podcasters do. Okay, I'm back from my Google search. This is great. So, yes, of course, it was named after Dr. Snellen, Herman Snellen, in 1862. And he lived, studied, and practiced medicine in the Netherlands. So thank you for that. Okay, so we have a chart that breaks down adult with 20/20 vision, 6-month-old baby, and a newborn baby. Not from the study, but just from reading online. An adult with 20/20 vision, it's, again, I said measured in arc minutes. So I said minutes earlier, but it's actually called arc minutes. So that's 1 arc minute is the equivalent of the Snellen 20/20. And that means sharp vision. And then we have a 6-month-old baby is going to be around 5 arc minutes, which is around a 20/100 or 20/200 vision. So it's blurry but improving. And then the newborn, the infant, is going to be around 40 arc minutes and 20/800, and it will be very blurry. So that's what makes the high contrast stand out, because they have a very limited ability to distinguish between details, essentially fine detail. I'm going to do a quick little fun question. Please answer in the comments, my 2 listeners. But do you like wearing thin stripes or thick stripes? So if you were wearing thick black and white stripes on your shirt, the baby would be able to see those pretty darn well. If you like thin stripes, more fine, it would take them a lot older to be able to distinguish those. So please drop a comment below. In conclusion, this study by Fantz and his team found out, yes, babies can see patterns, and how well? Well, it's measured in arc minutes. So let's just ask an ophthalmologist or an optometrist, because the arc minutes is going a little over my head. But essentially, babies, as they grow, are able to see more and more detail and see and distinguish stripes of smaller thickness. As always, please comment, like, subscribe, and now you can officially go over to my website and pre-order. Let me know if you have any issues. Thank you, and have a good day.